Greetings. Greetings. Welcome. Welcome. Where I'm at, it is pretty darn. What time is it? It doesn't matter, but I love the quiet. I'm not really expecting many people to come in on this one. First and foremost, because of the time frame. Most folks that follow me or that are consistent on my lives are probably asleep. So this is going to be for a select few that aren't, and a select few, that feel drawn and are interested in the question that I have. I said, what do you think about this? And so it's a good topic. It's something I've been meditating on for a while now, and I feel that it is time for me to share this for folks like myself, okay? And this may be a lifesaver in its own unique way. In its very own unique way, please understand, trust me. Okay? And if it doesn't, if this is not for you, love and light to you, whoever you are. Y'all know how it goes here at Bloom from Within Love. I'm only here as me and here, for those that would resonate. And it's just as simple as that. It's not even that deep, right? So the topic, what do you think about this? This meaning, there's going to be two options I'm going to give you. But before you even answer to yourself, just give yourself some space to kind of like, once upon a time, y'all, I knew someone that hated a certain word. So I'm not going to do this one word. I like the word. But anyway, give yourself some time to, ponder it. To, think about it. Ooh, what's that going on up in here? That feels good. Anyway, oh man, I can't. Okay, hold on, guys. Let me do this. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, that's better. So, okay. Two things. Do you prefer, if you had, two options, would you be more concerned with A or B? Would you be more concerned with A or B? A, being worried about looking like you're crazy to others, right? But possibly lose your life for doing that. Or worry about losing your life and not caring about what people think, okay? So the reason why this topic is, I feel like it's going to be a interesting one for most of you, because I kept hearing for a while. This has been a while for me, so I felt like maybe I should finally share it for others. Because I came to my own personal conclusion some long while back, and I said, I'd rather look crazy, let people think I'm crazy and look crazy to others and save my life than being overly concerned about what people thought, trying to not look crazy and end up losing it. And I feel like at some point in life, we all go through this, where, especially in society, and then especially dealing with the topic of narcissism, one of the things about that whole phenomenon is that the only thing that they can really utilize, and narcissism goes actually a lot further and deeper than people think. It's society, it's group controls, communities, and a lot of people aren't really aware of that, okay? But I want to say that the phenomenon of that is one of their, in my opinion, what I'm going to say is that what makes narcissism or narcissistic groups, people, and individuals dangerous is about three different things, okay? One, they usually don't appear that way, okay? That's the first one, which is the perfect way to get somebody, just like in the military, just like a sleeper spy. The only way you can get in is by appearing to not be what they, the enemy, okay? Two, okay, that's one of their things, right? Two, they're very covert in a way and strategic in what they do, how they do, and when they do it, okay? Three, they usually, like I said, it's group control systems, okay? So they have a system of individuals in psychology, they call them flying monkeys, okay? Enablers, tongue biters, all that stuff. So it's kind of like, if you want to equate it to military, whatever could kind of help you to understand. When this is the case, then they've already constructed some things for some time. And one of their driving forces is that they can convince others, okay, that the target of their abuse is crazy and that it's all in their mind. And so usually the people they're convincing, first of all, is already in their loop, is already under their spell, okay? Some of them are not always literally doing black magic necessarily, okay? But it's actually relevant, okay? Because all black magic is in the simplistic form, just the basic core. All it really is a form of manipulation, mind control, brainwashing, okay? So they're very strategic in that. Now, the victim or their target, this is why I'm saying this is going to free some people at some point. If you're, going through your awakening, you're trying to heal, or, maybe you were, whatever the full story is, but So what these type of people do is they take bits and pieces of historical facts or data and bend it, okay? And what I mean by bend it, this is why it's effective. They bend it because, anytime you can bend or pull an element of truth, this is also going to almost further the illusion or further the whole, make everybody think the target is crazy and, yada, yada, yada. And let's, so this is what makes that target at some point, especially if you guys are, first going through it, it'll make you feel like, okay, this is how they get people to keep silent. That's another thing I want to tell you. This is why and how they get people to keep silent about the things that's done. Usually they'll get evidence on a person, like some of their vulnerabilities. And if a person's not ready, they'll threaten to blackmail. Some of them will commence to try to get people put in mental institutions, and they themselves need all the help on earth. But they'll commence to do these things. It's a very they take advantage of all the people's vulnerabilities, all of them, okay? And bend it to further a cause, or bend it to convince other people of certain things. And people that are not discerning, people that are not awakened, people that are not healed themselves, people that benefit in some way from an art are going to buy it. Okay? So the targets may feel like, well, damn, because they're sophisticated in that way. So this, the conclusion I came up to a long time ago, I want to say almost a year. I said, fuck that. Let me tell you why. When we stop caring about, because only you, listen to me, beautiful souls, if there's anybody here at this point, okay? Those of you that are coming in on high vibes, and y'all know who I'm talking to, and y'all know who I'm not talking to. Listen to me. At the end of the day, hear me out. A part of the crazy making of narcissism, do your research. They make you question your reality. I remember some of the things I went through when I first came to the state of Nevada. What they do is all sorts of weird, sneaky, insidious shit, and then they'll do it strategically. And if ever you try to talk to them, they'll say some shit like, that's all in your head. But they know what the fuck they did. They know they went to the Caribbean and to the Jamaicas and to the damn Louisiana and was with the lady in the room and doing some. They know what they did, whether they told people or not. They know how they treated the person that the target in which would try to approach them. So if a target would try to approach them, that's why I tell people, if you finally come to the conclusion of some things, stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to understand it. Stop trying to rationalize it. Get the hell away. Okay? Run, don't walk. Right? And not in a negative way, but it's just in a sense of their mode of operation is never truly about balance. It's never that. They will say that, but it's never that. Okay? So that they call that gaslighting and crazy making. Again, learn how to do your own due diligence. I don't care what belief system you come from, because that's one of the other dangers, the religious and the spiritual narc. Again, they're the worst ones, and let me explain why. The costume. So on top of everything else I've mentioned about the phenomenon, now they have, in the 3D world, they can be probably some of the most known folks to donate to this cause, or make cookies for this group, or, the leader of the this, and, all of these things. And they cry and see all of these appearances, right? So individuals that are equally still locked in that type of a group control, and they themselves haven't awakened, healed, or no knowledge. We err due to lack of knowledge, no knowledge about psychological, psychiatric, personality, energy, frequencies, entities, or whatever you want to call it. When people are still stuck, okay, on the appearance of things, then it's easy. And then if that person go and say, no, right? If somebody get wind of something about the one that was targeted, right? Then they'll be like, no, oh my gosh, they're insane, they're crazy, I would never, oh my gosh. And then especially, now here's the kicker. If you're an eccentric, this is especially for you. You're the easy target, my friend. You're the scapegoat, because people will believe that you're capable of it before they will believe the one who did it is. See, this is the danger of that phenomenon. This is why I say one day for someone, what I just mentioned to you when I first came on is going to possibly save your life. I'd ask myself a question, because in the 3D and in every different community, whether it's the behavioral health community, spiritual community, social, whatever, right? We have a level of PC, we have a level of this, and everybody's got a certain kind of view, which is fine. But one day, see, this is where I'm going with it. It's nice. That's all fine and dandy, guys. But those very people that may be trying to bend you in a certain direction, when the rubber meets the road, if ever you find yourself in something similar, if you yourself aren't that way, then you may lose your life. Either literally, because they have several plans. Either they're trying to get you to, some of them, Yeah. Okay. So it, I told myself a long while ago, I was like, you know what? Especially me being in social media, what I do, and the things that I have experienced. Okay. Not just from my own family, other narcs, the narcs of my family, narcs in clergy, the narcs, not just that, but even in the realm of social media, in the realm of those that are in my industry, all of that. I told myself, I said, I ain't hearing none of that. And I kind of laughed in my own way because I kind of find humor in things after a while, to be honest. I was like, I was like, fuck that. And fuck what they saying. Because, look, check. We all see these Lifetime movies, we all see, these shows, movies, whatever, right? With these crazy scenarios. And sometimes these be true to life stories and shit. Okay? They'll say something like, based on a true story and woo, 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 right? We see how the shit go down, right? And when I start asking myself the questions, I said, I understand that in the 3D, in terms of the judicial system, their aspect or their side of things, in terms of how they have to go about certain things to uphold, right? They're bound to a way of needing to do certain things. Okay, so to a degree, I get that. Okay, because that's called, the judicial system to try. But to, in terms of those that are being targeted in some way or negatively affected in some way by the stuff, fuck that. You don't, I was like, you ain't gotta wait to know nobody get um, no damn proof and no damn diagnosis. Get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so let me just wait and see if I can find out if they're psychotic first. Let me get the proof. Sometimes you may not make it to get the proof. Think of these movies, you guys. I'm just trying to be very as a matter of fact. Look at any movie you've ever looked at. If your intuition and your experience with somebody, you know what you experienced. Stop trying to convince people. And stop worrying about how it makes you look. And anybody that will be willing to believe the abusers or the, whoever's involved in that stuff, chances are you don't want to be nowhere around them anyway. Because chances are, I want to say 90% of the time, they're involved with it anyway. Okay? It's a big pill to swallow, but it very well may save your life. Okay? Your happiness, your emotional health, your mental health, in some cases, physical health. Okay? I know it's not easy, but ask yourself A and B, what I came in with, A and B. So worried about looking crazy, I may end up losing my life. Or I'd rather look crazy than end up losing my life. Than getting caught up in some type of a saga, some type of a crazy ass, twisted, demented, insidious drama. If you suspect that people did black magic on you, and you know the type of surroundings that you have, if you know that they're more traditional or they'll believe an eccentric does it before they'll believe a so-called Christian does. If you know that, get away from them. And don't try to convince. Okay, sorry. Woohoo, sorry. Whoever's here, sorry. Surrender it, guys. Set intentions, work with, whatever your guidance team is. And, as you continue your healing, because you're going to have healing, because chances are, if you were the target, there's a lot of cleansing and healing and so forth that's going to be necessary for you. But as you do your ascension and do all of that and surrender it and follow your intuition, because it's still about that, rather than trying to, who can I get to believe me? Who can I get to believe me? Fuck, who can you get to believe you? Save your life. And then let it all play out after that. You know what I'm trying to say? Get yourself in a position of safety, health, and well-being. Do your due diligence. Get investigators. You know what I'm saying? Because, depending on the level of severity of how these people are operating, you may have to do that. Okay? Because that's how they stalk you. That's what they're doing to you in secret, behind fake profiles and through other people. So you may, I know it's like somebody's like, damn, shit, yep, the fuck. Follow your intuition and Sekhmet. Stop trying to find somebody to believe you, because what's going to happen is this. Let me tell you why. You guys heard me say 90% of the time, they're probably involved. They're probably aware of it in some way, or they're benefiting from the narc in some way. Okay? So if you try to go there, they're the flying monkeys. Remember, I talked about the term used in psychology with narcissism, the flying monkeys. They're reporters. They're monitors and reporters. So you just trying to find some help or trying to talk to somebody about some things and trying to say, hey, did you know that? Did you understand? Did you know that that's the kind of shit they was up to, that they was that fucked up? They gone? Did you know that their consciousness had been seared? Were you aware of that? If you go to that person, chances are as soon as they finish talking to you, they will be talking to the narc. And the only thing that they're going to do with that is commence another strategy. A rebuttal plan, a spell work part 2 plan. Okay? So don't waste your time. This is what I'm saying. Like, at some point, we have to get to the place of being okay with other people not being okay with us. We have to be okay with people trying to scapegoat us to make us look a certain way. If you know what you have experienced, because guess what? Them people are going about their lives, honey. After, as you're worried about how you're going to look to them, they'll go on about their lives, honey. They may shed a fake tear at a funeral, but they live on. Or they may give some fake empathy as you get wrongly accused or wrongly locked up or wrongly, you know what I'm saying? But they live on. So this is why we have to be okay without ourselves to that degree, and be willing to take ownership of our own lives and authority and make choices and not give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. It is yours. And if you've been targeted, it's up to you to be the one to have the most care and concern for it. Because they not. I tell people this all the time. Everybody's got something to say to you. I don't care who they are. Church folks, friends, family members, whoever, authorities, everybody's always got an opinion, something to say to you, some kind of bent they're trying to get you in. They think they know everything. They think they're the answer to all of the answers. But at the end of the day, it's your life. I have learned some of the greatest lessons of my life as a result of trusting and going against my intuition and trusting the wrong people, including family. Because no one wants to believe that someone near and dear or close, or somebody they knew since they were 2, or somebody that's the church deacon and the pastor, or somebody's that got a fucking Reiki center, or someone, nobody wants to believe in themselves that these types of individuals would be so wicked. So we have to learn the hard way to start following your intuition and start looking beyond the surface of things. I don't care if you've known them since when the earth was created. No matter how many friends they got, no matter how many followers they got, we got to get past that. Because chances are there's some insidious shit behind that too. Save your life and your children's life. If you have children, because these people their consciousness is seared. They're gone. And I know that hurts. But when I gave you guys, I think I did a reading, I can't remember exactly, but I gave you guys an example of the show that I love, The Walking Dead. And when Daryl, the earlier years, and Daryl had to lay his brother down, his brother that had died and became, when they become the walker, and it hurt him. Like, you could see it in Daryl's face, like, because again, that's his family. And I'm using it in symbolism and metaphors. I'm not speaking literally. So I do have to say that because not everybody catches it. And I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be condescending, but the reality is there are people who think like, well, what are you trying to say? That's not what I'm saying. This is metaphorically and symbolically. When people's consciousness becomes seared, this is spoke of even in scriptures that people read. When people's consciousness becomes seared, and they can still be at church, they can still be at the Reiki center, they can be, it doesn't matter what they're practicing in the 3D, but if their consciousness has become seared by their free will, we have free will on earth. So by way of their choices and their free will and the things that they have done to get to that place, okay? We understand that the morals that were maybe once there, once upon a time, they're not anymore. There's no moral code. They're not even really there. Just like The Walking Dead, when Daryl faced his brother, that was actually just the shell of his brother. His true brother had actually died. And that's like symbolism of someone that is, here, yeah. Up and about doing things, sure. But not who you remember. And now that brother had become one coming after him. Daryl had to watch his brother come after him, his own blood. He had to look at that. His brother had become something else and is coming to get him, is targeting him to try to kill him. to try to take what's his, to try to take his life and make it his own. And if you've seen that scene in the show and saw Daryl's face, Daryl's a good actor, it's a show. But if you would have saw that clip in that face Daryl had, that hurt him because he was still alive. His consciousness was still awake. His consciousness was still intact and had morals and ethics in him still. So even though, Daryl knew what had happened, and he knew that at the end of the day, what would have to be the result, it still hurt him. But he still had to do what he had to do. And the symbolism in that, you guys, is don't play with that. This is what takes people a long time to get away from situations. It's what takes people so long, and what gets people ending up getting trapped in some sagas and shit. And because of that attempt to go round for round and understanding the rationale. People who are overthinkers or have too much air in their chart, or even when we're too proud, like some of us, especially as we're about to go through an awakening or something like that, and depending on how we came up, we may be too egotistical. We may be thinking our poopy don't stink, or, like, oh no, I'm the shit, everybody, especially, y'all know what I'm talking about. And because of that, again, even in the scriptures, it talks about, well, pride goes before a fall. That's that reliance upon how things appear. And thinking that because one is fine, I'm fine, shit. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. Shit, they love me. Do they though? Do they really? See, we have to find these things out. And it'll save you. And I know it's painful, it's frustrating, or all these things, but let's just reduce it to the simplicity. And I think that's what really helped me, to be frank. Because I did go through that same thing that I'm saying to you guys in terms of like, at first you don't. It's easier to think maybe an ex-lover from back in 2018 or, those things are a little bit simpler. You may be more open to possibly believing that. But when it comes to the closest things to you, in which oddly enough, scripture talks about that as well, that it is usually the closest thing to you. It's rarely the shit that's far away or the people that, don't matter to you at all, because it's not going to be able to get to you. They don't have your kryptonite. Just like Delilah had to convince Samson to reveal his weakness. If they don't got your kryptonite too much, it's not really much they can do. Not really. Because you're going to get the hell away from them and you don't even give a fuck, even if they do shit. You be like, fuck them and what they doing. I don't care. I'm living. You know what I'm saying? But when it's, when it's a little more challenging than that, when it's the people you break the bread with or the people who, give an appearance of concern. Well, hello, happy birthday, and hi. Yeah, that's doing recon for reports and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of stuff. The sooner y'all accept this, the happier your life, the more peace, the more tranquility, the more blessings, the more abundance. All this stuff starts to come back to you. And it also helps you to be doing your own due diligence, being as gentle as a dove, but becoming as wise as a serpent, because you're dealing with serpents. So learning, okay, investigator, collect data, do your part. I'm not saying to be overthinking. I'm not saying to like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to get overly vested. You don't want to get too, but whatever you're guided to do, depending on your situation, that could possibly one day help you if something were to, you know, somebody says, thank you, madam. You're very welcome who said that. This is what's going to help you for just in case, depending on what you're going through. If you know people are trying to set you up, or you have some kind of suspicion that people are tapping into your devices, or your accounts, if you have some type of suspicion that they're creating profiles with your information and your pictures and your personal contents, or if you see some of this, start collecting it. When people make snarly comments, start, collecting this data and save it in a unique way, okay? Save it in a very unique way. And then, any little thing that may come up and draw your attention, report it. It's a website for that, okay? The FBI deals with anything to do with technology, the internet, the cloud, social medias. That's their jurisdiction. So they're very silent, and then they're in the background, but they have to do it that way. They have to, okay? So, but if you do your due diligence in that way, when it comes time, if it comes to a certain point, then you will be covered for you, okay? So, and don't overthink it. Every snarly comment, okay? The FBI, once you submit your report, what ends up happening after that, then you already let them know, they're aware of your social medias. So just like you're being stalked, they're in the background. So whoever those platforms are, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, they get access to who has a tendency to go on this person's page, who has a tendency to go on their lives, who are the ones that are reporting their videos, whether those accounts are closed or not. Start doing your due diligence for yourself and don't tell nobody, because it's just for you, because you'll do it and then you just live. Okay, you send some weird shit. And then, now I'll end on this note, and this is the extreme case, okay? But you guys hear me say this sometimes, and I know we don't want to hear it. I know it's a challenge. I know it can be scary. I know, but sometimes it is better to uproot your life and go. Because chances are, if these people were that insidious, they've been tracking you for a long time. Long time. If ever they came to your home, if ever they were in your car or knew what kind of car you had, if ever they knew where you lived or the places that you frequented, they've been stalking you. They've been tracking you. They've been having a plan to somehow try to set you up in some way. So do you want to live your life like that? Even once you just separate it from them, right? Let's say, okay, you separate yourself, which is the first step. Okay, I separate. I'm not going to deal with these people. Don't talk to me. I don't want no tater chips. I don't want no $20. I don't want no motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once you clear your life out and separate yourself, good. That's the first step. After that, it may serve you. Get you just totally uproot especially if you have like friends that are still entangled with them and stuff, and they still under the spell and shit. It's like, it may serve just to go, because you can rebuild. You can always co-create and remanifest. I learned this. I learned this. My God, did I learn it? I learned it. Learned. Right? I learned it, that when you do this, it may appear a certain way, but boy, that manifestation, when you start cleaning up house, clean house, clean up your life, surrendering to source, surrendering to your higher self, healing, boundaries, letting people go, changing your life. It's like, fuck that. That car ain't that important. I'm finna to give me another one. Motherfuckers trying to slice tires and shit. Weird shit. I actually got pictures of that. I sure do. Weird. Weird. You know, if you got all this weird phenomenon happening, we're so used to overthinking. And people that have a conscious and that are introspective, they typically will kind of ponder and go, well, I might be tripping. I mean, because you're not gone. You're balanced. But, when you're dealing with this type of stuff, it's like, fuck that. You know what you're experiencing. Crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? We're like, one time I remember, you guys, I want to say this had to be it had to be 2020. It had to be 2020, y'all. And I went outside to my car, right? And my entire car was covered in, like, I don't know if it was ketchup or a soda. Like, it was the whole car. It was weird. I'm like, it would have been one thing if it was like a little bit of splat right here, but it was like the all over. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, okay. I'm like, And I looked around to see if anybody else's car. I just kind of I was like, okay, what is this? Then a different kind of experience I think I had where it was some like weird red stuff again on my door out of the blue. Then, random bags put in front of my door out of the blue. And see, what people like that do, if they know that you're the type of person, first and foremost, if they know if you're having hardships or if they know that you like free shit, what's the way that they can get you? Think about that. Ooh, I know they like this, so we finna put a bag over there with some stuff in it. We're gonna do a spell on it. We're gonna put some poison. We're gonna put a tracking device. Yeah, people do that. If you've seen weird activity on your phones and your accounts, and you're like, well, nobody should be having no access to that, because I sure the hell ain't gave nobody no damn, what you call it. Don't overthink it. At some point, if you're able to afford, I would even get new devices. I would get new numbers. I would get new vehicles. I would totally relocate my life. And this will possibly save your life, your happiness, your well-being. Sometimes when we go through a lot of things, or you're codependent, these people exploit that. Oh, I'll get a phone for you. I'll put you on our line together. And that sounds great. Ooh, I got me a free phone. They said, shoot, I'm supposed to give me a phone and shit. This right here, though, like, get all excited. This right here, though, they give me a free phone. If they know that show, they know how to get to you. But what you don't know if whoever is the owner of these accounts, honey, I don't care what they tell you, they all in that because they're the owner of the freaking accounts. So anyway, I'm talking about people who do. If you don't do that, then that part ain't for you. But individuals who are open to that or like that or you know what I'm saying, buy into that. Because essentially, okay, if that ain't your get down, I bet you your bottom dollar this, they gonna find what your weakness is. And that's what they gonna use against you. Because at the end of the day, when you're talking about something like this, there's nobody above it. It is insidious. So I don't care if you got $1 million you make a year, you can still get got by a narc. Because they will find, because every human has a weak spot. That's just the way it is. I don't care how smart we are. I don't care how intelligent. I don't care how fine. I don't care how much money. They will study you as many harlots and fucknuts of the scriptures studied their targets. They will find it. They will get to your secrets. They will find your vulnerability. It is our pride and our pretension which eventually leads to our fall. This is why I'm saying, if this ain't you, then, well, that's wonderful. That's a blessed life if you haven't been plagued with individuals of that nature. So I'm addressing people who already have the suspicion. If that's not your life, then, well, congrats. You ain't missing out on nothing. You would like to hope that you ain't dealing with these kind of motherfuckers. But I'm talking to the individuals that know, okay? They know. And no matter how powerful we think we are, it still serves us well. This is not about, it serves us well to use that as wisdom. That is wisdom. That's energy. They are energy vampires anyway, and that's just what they feed from. So to continue to invest or to continue to be entangled, that was the whole point. They're trying to harvest, whether people want to believe it or not, but that's what it is. So it'll serve us. It'll serve you well to stop investing. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to understand them. Stop trying to go to counseling and stuff. Because all of these things are tactics. All we need to do is watch a few good Lifetime movies and we would know what the fuck I'm talking about. And on that note, you guys, on Netflix, hear me out. If you have access to Netflix, go watch, type in Dirty John and watch it. Okay? That is a story of a narc, but a very severe one. But watch it and pay attention. And then you all will see what I'm saying. And then if you feel like this is applying to your life in some way, follow your higher guidance, do your due diligence, take care of yourself. Your life may depend on it, your children, all of that. Okay? Getting around those kind of people, staying too closely around those kinds of people, doing that stuff. Next thing we know, you'll look around and be like, wow, motherfuckers, like, what the hell? And then are good at trying to project it out to somebody else. It's called throw the rock and hide your hand. Throw the rock, hide your hand. They did it. Throw the rock, hide your hand. They did it. I would never. Like, what the hell? I'm tired all the time. Crazy shit. Like, we have to start putting the pieces together. Like, I don't care what they saying. All I know, this right here, though, when I got involved with this, and this. As soon as I started this, and this, the shit, you know. Oh. Yeah. It may save your life, y'all.